Women hate to see us happy. Every time men are just walking out there, ignoring them, or maybe stare a little bit and not approach, how upset do they get? Like, again, we just always end up gay.
There's something about happy single men that just seems to annoy a lot of women. And it's funny because, well, a lot of women asked to be left alone,
Correct?
and, well, men provided and did leave women alone, and they're still not happy. Makes you wonder if women can ever really be happy.
Red, it's just not enough.
Anyway, let's get into this video series. Let me know what you think.
So I just got back from this event, and what is wrong with men? They have lost the art of approaching. Like, if we make eye contact, and we make eye contact multiple times, that is your sign. That is your sign that I am interested, that the girlies are interested, and that is your sign for you to come up to us and talk to us, because that is the okay.
No, men
It's
have not
not.
lost it.
It's kind of dumb for women to expect all of this. Even back in the day, that was not the sign. The sign was at least dropping handkerchiefs, or at least approaching that man. Right? Nowadays, oh my god, he should know. How? I just thought you were just looking at me crazy.
Girls just aren't worth it anymore. Girls just became a liability, and, well, no sane person wants a liability in their life. And shouldn't you be happy about this? Well, you asked to be left alone, and they provided just that. So I don't know why you're complaining. I think you should be happy. And no, eye contact is not a sign. Walking up to the man and through this beautiful thing called communication that we have, speaking
What is that? I thought, oh, that thing that women are really good at, right?
to each other, that's how he knows. That is a clear sign. And men are just a lot simpler than us women. And I don't think it occurs to quite a few women that if you're constantly looking at a man, well, he might start getting creeped out because you're staring at him. So the less
Again, we're not used to people staring at us for thinking that we're hot or whatever it is, unless you're Chad. And then, so we're just probably like, damn, something wrong with my face? Or what's she looking at?
creepy thing to do would be just to walk up to the guy and say something. But only approach if you're a pleasant person. If you're unpleasant and you're going to nag him to death and just take everything, then, well, you're probably going to want to just stay at home and do everybody a favor.
I mean, yeah, we did leave you alone in your peace, and now there's a male loneliness epidemic, and
Well, hate to break it to you, but traditionally it's always been the men that pursue the women. So if men and women aren't getting together, then, well, isn't it the men that left women alone?
Correct.
Or does that take too much of your control away, lady?
you're crying about how lonely you all are because you literally cannot survive socially without women's attention and love.
Now, while of course there are lonely men and women, where exactly are you seeing all these lonely, crying men to the point where you think there's a male loneliness epidemic? There's
Yes, men have the highest self-deletion rate. We're not saying there isn't men that are just, not feeling it. I don't want to say too much about it. But it's always been like that.
lonely people in relationships, and then there's lonely people that are single. Lonely and single are two separate things. And there's people that are completely happy being single without being lonely at all, both men and women. Now, oddly enough, it always seems like there's a lot more men that are happy being single versus women. Well, because women, they always need people around them. And I don't think she realizes that in your social group, your girlfriend, boyfriend, or your husband, wife, it only makes up a very small portion of that. It's not all about you, lady.
There is no male loneliness epidemic. It is a loser epidemic. Men would rather be alone than to evolve and change, than to recognize, wait, maybe I had it wrong. Maybe there's something I need to change.
Anyone, especially men, would rather be alone than evolve. In other words, bend over backwards or walk on eggshells around someone in order to please them.
Yeah, to evolve is to be slaves. Somehow that's evolving.
Particularly when they're creating chaos.
If you can't get a woman because none of them want to be with you, maybe try and figure out why. Instead of making women the problem and saying that their standards are too high, maybe try and figure out why they don't want to be with you. What is it about you that maybe needs to change in order for a woman to want you? And they'll say, oh, there's no more good women left. Women are not like what they used to be. Women used to spend their days in the kitchen. Women only cared about taking care of the house and the kids. Oh yeah, and also women used to take our beatings. Women used to stay quiet. Women didn't complain. Women didn't think they could get better. Women didn't have confidence and self-worth and weren't able to speak up for themselves.
It always goes to that stupid propaganda, and it's literally been proven as propaganda. Women just didn't have black eyes left and right because they were speaking up.
And that suited you. That's the kind of person you wanted. If you love your mum's generation so much, cool, maybe marry one of her single friends. Women are not the problem. They have just woken up and realized they deserve better, that they don't actually need anything from these men, and they're only going to accept a man in their life if the man can make their life better.
So a robot then, somebody that just does anything for you at any time, no questions asked.
You said slave.
Lady, you do know that relationships are not all about what someone does for you or how useful they are to you, don't you? And who in their right mind would willingly sign up for that? The problem with her never...
I mean, the whole point of relationships wasn't sex. The whole point of a relationship was to have children and to have the best success for children, and it just led to marriage, which gave it the best, even more success, right? Like, if we're not gonna have kids, we're just fucking degenerates.
seeing something from another person's viewpoint and only thinking about herself, it just results in a very, very lonely life down the road. Because, I mean, not even friends and family would put up with that. At least you would hope. What some females are expecting men to put up with and tolerate is crazy. It's diabolical. And if this
One of my favorite words. Diabolical.
lady actually listened, she would realize, well, it's not about getting women back in the kitchen. It's just the fact that a lot of women aren't even treating men with common decency. And why exactly is a woman's confidence and self-worth men's problem? Because that sounds more like a you problem and not something men can fix. It's something that you yourself have to fix, lady.
It's like women just want men to just, you're good, you're just as good as us, you're better than us. But you're not. And men aren't gonna keep doing this. At least normal men. There's the simps that are gonna keep doing it, but they're not gonna last that long either.
And if you cannot do that, you will not be chosen. If you can't level up and be the kind of man that women of this day and age want, you won't get to have a woman in this day and age.
Well, actually, even though women claim to be strong and independent, it is still the men that do the choosing.
That we do.
They're still the ones that are expected to walk up and ask women out. Also, I don't think you have to worry about any man approaching you, lady. In fact, just keep your standards high. Long story short, she's just upset that men won't tolerate her BS because, well, if they did, she wouldn't really need to make a video about this.
Correct.
She would be getting her way.
Okay, I have a theory on why all the hottest girls are single and nobody's married yet. I figured it out. It's because before, hot women were a rare commodity. Now, everyone is just way too hot. It's easy for girls to get.
It's fucking makeup. Makeup has just gotten a lot more, and it's called filters. Stop lying to yourselves. There's still just as many hot women as it was ever before. Maybe slightly better just because of health.
Hot, right? And now it's like when you see a desirable, high value man, they have way too many options. And girls don't have options anymore. And it's so frustrating because it's like people would kind of date in their lane, if you know what I mean. Before there was like fillers and Botox and hair and cute outfits and spray tans and all that stuff. People would date in their lane. Now everyone's hot. And no, men can't do any type of like plastic surgery or height surgery or whatever. And with women working and men working, equal pay.
So you're saying women think they look better than us because they get plastic surgery and all this stuff. We figured that out already.
That's also a rare thing. So, ladies, we need to figure out a way to make men suck again. Sorry, they do suck. That's my point. They do suck. We just need to even out the ratio here. We're too hot. Men need to catch up to us. You know what I mean?
Right, so by everyone, she means men.
Yep.
What a way to take responsibility. Just say that women are too hot for men. Wow. Seriously. Just because the girls think that the Botox and the hair extensions and the heavy makeup is hot does not mean the men do. I mean, you can keep living in that delusion, but it's not going to change the reality.
Are we in an epidemic of indecisive and confused men? Because why have myself and my friends experienced these guys who are like confused and like don't know what they want? Like,
We're not confused. We're just the Chads of the world. They get to do whatever the hell they want. They get to move about and be like, yeah, 2 a.m., you up? And that's all they need to do because you're just going to jump on their bones because they're Chads.
how are y'all gonna reach out to us and then be like, oh, I actually don't have time to date, I actually don't have time for a relationship? I just don't get that. Are y'all going back and forth in your head with what you can handle, what you can juggle, what you want? Like, please don't come bothering quality girls before you get your mind straight of what you want.
Well, those don't sound like confused men. Those sound like men that prioritize their careers and goals over women.
Yep.
You know, things that add value to their life. And isn't that also what women do? So why can't men prioritize their careers and goals and things that are important to them when women do the same thing?
Because it's misogyny.
Because like myself and my friends are confident in ourselves, know what we want, know what we are looking for in a relationship. So like, please leave us alone if you're not gonna like fully bring yourself to the table.
You and your friends are quality women. Well, if you're going to say that you're a quality woman, then it would probably be a good idea to list what those qualities are. But I do wonder what her expectations are.
Who else saw the TikTok video of that girl being interviewed in Miami who said she's like funded by her parents, but she wants a man who makes like 150 million a year? The interviewer was like, what about a
150 million? What the fuck?
guy who makes 50 million? And she's like, no, not enough. Dude, honestly, so real, because there are literally guys out there with stupid wealth, guys, and you're out here settling for the guy who makes 100K a year. 100K is now
I thought she was gonna be like, she's crazy, but she doubled, tripled down on that one right there. Wow.
below the poverty level, guys. And if
Wow.
you're getting offended by this, just find you a girl who's okay with that. Girls who have high expectations and high standards are gonna get what they want if they don't settle.
Again, those list of qualities would be very good to put out right now. Oh, I just wonder why she's single. Now, women will take this, right? And then stay single in their 20s, 30s, and 40s, all the while, you know, racking up quite a body count.
Of course.
And then just continues to wait for, you know, some man that makes $50 million to come show up at her doorstep. You know, the time that she spent racking up her body count and he spent his time, you know, building
Making the
himself up to
millions.
the point where he could make that. Somehow that's supposed to work together. Right. If you want to be a lonely cat lady that just sits at home and makes TikToks complaining about men, then, well, there's your advice.
I don't know why more people aren't talking about this, but there is an epidemic of lonely men in the US, and it's due to the
Again, it's just pure projection. These women just love to say there's lone. Where are you seeing this? Where? Where's there video evidence? Or where there's men telling you this? You know, it's definitely women always constantly talking to each other. So it's, I believe you're hearing it from women.
their financial situation. In the past few days, I've spoken to multiple men saying they have not been dating for years and they have their eyes on a certain dream woman, but because they can barely take care of themselves, they can't even date and they struggle in this area. And so they live alone, struggling with money, struggling to get by, craving this connection, craving to find a good woman, but because they barely make any money, they feel like less of a man and they don't have the confidence to pursue the woman of their dreams.
Are there lonely people? Sure.
Sure.
But an epidemic? No, you got that wrong.
The same percentage of men, maybe slightly more. Slightly more.
I don't know what you're observing, lady, but it seems that there's a lot more men that are doing much better financially when they stay single. I mean, the reason why is, well, women are crazy expensive.
That
I mean,
they
to
are.
start, they're expecting all these luxury outings, these expensive dinners. And then it turns into, well, they expect men to pay for all their fake nails and their hair and rent and all these things. And what do they get in return for that? Well, they get nagging, entitlement, high body count, baggage, sometimes their debt. So the trade off just isn't worth it. It's just not worth the price tag for most.
The debt thing. Yeah, there's a lot of women in debt, guys. Remember, we don't talk about the whole debt much, but most of them are in debt, and we're not talking about like a few $100. We're talking about like a few thousands, tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands. Remember, highest credit cards, highest debt for college or college loans or whatever the hell that was. That's a lot of debt. Please like, subscribe, comment down below. I really appreciate that. And catch you guys next time. Ciao.